Neuroscientists, having amassed a wealth of knowledge over the past 20 years about the brain and its development from birth to adulthood, are now drawing solid conclusions about how the human brain grows and how babies acquire language. So that prompt is pretty strong as is. Notice that the noun, neuroscientist, is followed by a long modifier, and then the verb comes here at the end. So neuroscientists are now drawing solid conclusions. That's the core verb of the sentence. The problem with B is we have our noun, and then we have a modifier, and then we have and are. And so we have an and then a second independent verb without ever having a first independent verb. So we're creating a parallelism to something that isn't there. So B is incorrect. C repeats this problem, and also it makes the participle not a past participle, having amassed, but amassing, as if that's happening now, even though that we're told that it's happened over the past 20 years. So the tense doesn't work there either. Those are two problems. D and E take a completely different tack. D and E put the verb up front. Neuroscientists have amassed. So in both cases, they put a verb right in front, and then they turn the second half of the sentence into a participial phrase. Now drawing solid conclusions. Well, there are a couple problems with this. First of all, now drawing solid conclusions, that as a modifier, if we're following the modifier touch rule, that should modify the noun that it touches, which in both cases is adulthood. And adulthood is not now drawing conclusions. So there's a problem with the modifier touch rule. And also, the problem is that the verb is in the past tense, and then we're modifying it in the present tense. So there's something kind of funky about the tenses there as well. So both D and E share those problems. And that really leaves A as the only viable choice here. Neuroscientists, having amassed a wealth of knowledge over the past 20 years about the brain and its development from birth to adulthood, are now drawing solid conclusions about how the human brain grows and how babies acquire language. And by far, the strongest answer is A.